Wait. Sorry.
Ta-da! Okay. You ready? Yes? Yes. Okay. Diburei Emunah Daf Kuf Ayin. The Dibur and the Asek in praising the greatness of the Tzaddik. This was in Chodesh Shvat, 1981. It is known the story that once Talmidei Rabbeinu, Rabbi Yudel from Dashev and Rabbi Meir from Medvidevke went to Rabbeinu. Rabbi Meir of Medvidevke. And Rabbi Yudel of Dashev. Rabbi Yudel of Dashev was one of the great Talmidim. He was a great Mekubal. So they went, and on the way, on the wagon, there was an argument between them about the Rebbe's greatness. So we're going to the Rebbe. So Rabbi Yudel says, Rabbeinu is like one of the Tanoim. And Rabbi Meir says, I don't go that far. I think that the Rebbe is the greatest of this generation. Now, this generation, you're talking about who was around that time. The Baal HaTanya was at that time. The Berditchever was at that time. The Baruch of Meshibur was at that time. Rabbi Al Karliner was at that time. So Rabbi Nochum Chernobyl was at that time. It wasn't a small thing to say that he's the greatest in this generation.
What a lineup.
And he said, no, but I think he's the greatest in this generation. Now, Rabbi Meir was a very bakanta figure in the Rebbe's house. People knew him. Every time he came to the Rebbe, he was accepted, accepted Panim Yafas, he was like, welcome, and this and that. This time he came to the Rebbe didn't wasn't mekabel this, and didn't give him a cover, and even told him, he says, if you don't believe, if you don't have emunah in me, why do you come to me? Now, Reb Meir, that the whole argument in the wagon, he already forgot about it. He was totally blown away. I mean, like, wow. He knew what we spoke about. There were no cell phones there, it's like So the Rebbe says, if you want, I can tell you what you were thinking when you went on the wagon. What were your thought in your head when you went on the wagon? And Rav Nachman said the story. He said, we said, so it's and therefore it is found that we have emunah in Rabbeinu even more than Rabbi Yudel. Rabbi Yudel says Tanoim. We believe Chidush Kamoni Lo Hayah. There was never any Chidush like him. So Bavrom Reb Nachman smiled and he says, we say it with our mouth, but they, whatever it is they believed deeply, deep. Kichlal, Reb Nachman used to prevent himself from going so far and talking about the greatness of the Rebbe. And why? Because there are people that don't have the mental capacity to be able to hear this kind of Diburei. So they shouldn't hear it. But B'kitzur, what is allowed to talk about is that the neshama of Rabbeinu came down to this world for our tov, to be masaken our nefesh, until the coming of Mashiach, and also afterwards. And anybody who wants to be masaken his nefesh must come close to Rabbeinu. These kind of diburim, you're allowed to talk, and you have to talk. And there's a great benefit in talking like this. Rabbi Nachman was very, very careful when he said to speak with us to look around who is sitting there. And at his table, we were sitting there, usually very, very great people, very choshev people, tremendous Ovdei Hashem, and tremendous Talmidei Chacham. Reb Mordechai Sokolover. Reb Mordechai Sokolover was the Motz they are based in the town of Sokolov. Town of Sokolov, there was a Rebbe, the Sokolov Rebbe. The Mordechai Sokolover was the Dayan. He wasn't the Rebbe. He was the Dayan over there. He was Miskarev. He was sitting with somebody. He was a great Yid. So you understand from the story I'm going to tell you that he was how he was with Kalti Breslov. He sat in Besmedrish. In Besmedrish, there was one Poshta Yid. I think it was a shoemaker. I think Nachman Schuster. I'm not sure. One of the Poshta Yid, a shoemaker. Came Chatzois. They were still learning. This Smots, the Dayan of the town, was learning Chavrusa with somebody, and this Schnook guy was sitting there in the corner and was crying, thinking Chatzois, Koiles. So they told him, why are you making so much noise? He said quietly. So he was very optimistic. This shoemaker was very optimistic, and he told them, he says, you have Torah, you don't need Beis HaMikdash. Me, I don't have anything. I need Beis HaMikdash. These words went into his heart like a serpent, like bam. And like, I have Torah, I don't miss Beis HaMikdash. I don't miss it. And with this it was Miskav to Rabbeinu. And it was a big machlokes on him. He was learning with somebody, he was learning with a Bacher, he was learning Diburei Emunah, and he died. That Bacher died. And it was obvious that they'll find that the Bacher died, they'll blame him, they'll blame all the Breslovers, and the Shem Laham will come out of it. So he had to resuscitate him. There's another thing, Reb Mordechai Sokolover was Mechaya Nes. He brought him back to life. That's Reb Mordechai Sokolover. He was sitting by Reb Emunah. He's one of the guys that was sitting in the table of Reb Nachman's. Reb Shlomo Gavriel and the Bial Rov he had Mam Sharuach HaKodesh, and with them he would talk on Shere Oifen, on more beautifully. So, but when we sat, it was a group of 20 Bochrim. They're all over the Hashem, Yitzchak Kohen alav hasholom. It says, so Rochas used to, in the middle of his talk, he says, who am I talking to? I'm talking to Bochrim here. And he would stop talking. It wasn't the same when the Kedoshim Tahirim, Reb Mordechai Sokolover was Oived Hashem and Goyen was tremendous Oived Hashem, tremendous Goyen. In Uman they spoke unbelievable things about him. Reb Shlomo Gavriel was also a Goyen, a tremendous Baal Moyach. He says it is impossible to explain to anybody who didn't know him. Then, with these great people, we used to sit with Reb Nachman, he had who to talk to. But even then, he was memait in these kind of diburim. Why? Because their emunah is not as deep as in Talmidei Rabbeinu. So there's no need to talk too much about this. Befrat, that there are people, even amongst unsere Leid, even amongst Anas, that you're not allowed to talk to them these things, to say these things, that not only won't help them, it can damage them. He says, but what we are allowed to speak fully, Pemole, from the greatest of Rabbeinu HaKodesh, is that which is Nagea to the tikkun of our nefesh, of our neshamas. Kegon, in these generations, until Mashiach will come, and weiter, there is no way to come to tikkun nefesh. Each one, what he needs according to the tikkun of his nefesh, for those olam, forever, except through Rabbeinu. The tzaddik ha'emes and his and his Eses HaKadoshos that he gave us, that he inherited, that he inherited to us forever. In our days, it's already easier to see. It used to be that, there was this one, there was that one, and this one. Today, it is obvious that there is no manhig like Rabbeinu, and there is no tikkun to the Jews anywhere, any kind, wherever they are, except through the tzaddik and through Rabbeinu. I mean, all the Chassidim and all the Misnagdim and all of them, with all from top to bottom, to come to their tachlis, to what it is that they really need, they have to come to Rabbeinu. They have to come to Rabbeinu. There's no other tikkun. And specifically in our days when there's hardly any chiyus b'chlal left. There's no juice left b'chlal. I mean, they have to reignite the whole thing all over again. If it's Hasidim, it's Misnagdim, it's Kippa Sruga, if it's Chabad, if it's Ger, if it's Bel, there's no tikkun for them except Rabbeinu. We all need Rabbeinu. Every single Yid needs Rabbeinu. Rabbeinu Breslev is not a party. It's not a Hasidus. It's not a brand of Hasidus. There's Lubavitch, there's Bells, and this and that. Breslev is not that. Breslev is Tikkun HaOlam. That's a Lev Basar, is Tikkun HaOlam. This we can say.